Welcome, everyone, to episode 193 of the Postgame Report. I am your host, JVB. With me, I have the DCD.
I have returned, and I do not have swamp ass, despite internet rumors.
You're a walking swamp ass.
No, I'm not the one walking around with paper towels under his arm in the summertime. That's you, okay? I'll be right back.
That's because it's embedded within your butt cheeks. In between your butt cheeks.
Yeah, that's why I walk funny. That's totally.
Then we have Soldier X.
Hello, and just like DCD, my PS Vita has not been touched in a very long time.
Says you, man. That's not what JBB's mother said last night.
Oh!
No.
I'll have you know she's a saint.
Hard.
Oh!
Anyway, moving on.
Then we have Heroic Superman.
Hello.
What's up, Heroic Superman?
Hey, everybody, you want to go to McDonald's? Let's go.
We have Guijay. What's up, Guijay? You're pretty close. All right, so...
Don't forget about Neft.
Neft, not Neft.
What? I thought it was Neft, like N-E-F-T.
No, it's N-E-F-F.
Nef. Okay.
Well, actually, N-E-F, not N-E-F-F.
N-E-F, Nef. Okay.
Neft.
That's okay. That's okay. Soldier's been making mistakes all day. He cheered on the Lakers.
Oh. Yeah, they got...
Womp, womp, womp.
All good things must come to an end. So, don't forget, you can visit us at talkingaboutgames.com. You can also download the show on iTunes. Download our official iPhone and Android application, which is $1.99. And while you're at Talking About Games, make sure you leave comments on the new editorials you're seeing up. Check out all the other podcasts. I'm not going to even name them. Just go over there and find out for yourself. I'm sick of making mistakes.
The one about knitting is quite the listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. We've been getting a lot of traffic. There's been, for good reason. There's been a lot of good content.
Yeah, Soldier wrote a really interesting one on, what was it, Mass Effect racism or something like that.
Yeah,
He's been getting all sorts of madness over there at M4G.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You missed that one on PGR, dude.
I know. Well, I was working. Sorry.
And you also missed the one that with the DCD simulator.
Mm-hmm. That was last week.
You guys are way off. Nothing beats the original. Sorry.
All right, so let's talk about...
His dad did. Oh! Get it?
I'm about to throw a burrito at you.
Your dad beat you? Your dad
you know what? I'm gonna get 10 belts, and I'm gonna beat you with 9 of them.
Okay.
And we're the last one.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're the last one around his head.
They go the pants.
So let's talk about Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
What's up?
I actually got it a day early. I bought it at the local mom and pop joint, so I put up a 35-minute video. I was supposed to put commentary, but it was so late that the video took so long to freaking convert and upload. It took 6 hours because it was in 1080p.
So you mean to tell me you're not sitting around, oh, come on, sheep, get off me. I'm trying to play. Come on. Stop it.
Well, I did an 18-minute version of that with me doing commentary. Mm. It's up on YouTube. Check it out for all those listeners, the 100 of you listening, and let me know what you think. But we're going to tell you what we think so far of the game. Mm-hmm. I have it. DCD, you have it.
I have it.
What about you, Soldier?
I live it.
Which is true. I live it.
I don't actually.
Yeah, except he doesn't have the cool camo suit. He runs around the grocery store. You can't see me.
Shaking his hand like John Cena.
I know, right?
Can't see me.
Sir, could you get out of the pineapples, please? We need to sell those. Thank you.
So, obviously, at least in my case, playing Ghost Recon on the original Xbox 360, I have a nice history with Ghost Recon, with the Ghost Recon franchise. It was a big deal when it first came out on the Xbox, simply because you can have so many people playing co-op with you, and you had what amounts to Horde mode for Ghost Recon. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Rainbow Six, where it was terrorist hunt. So you had all these enemies, and just playing co-op alone was well worth the price of admission. With the announcement of Ghost Recon Future Soldier, myself, Crash, big time Ghost Recon fans, we were really excited, especially after the last few. Advanced Warfighter was okay. It wasn't all that. And this one was supposed to make up for it. So far, playing it from a single player perspective, while there's some cool stuff that they implement, for example, the sandstorm that you got to fight through and then fight enemies while you're in this sandstorm, that was okay. In concept, it's a lot better, but when you look at it visually, because you got to be in X-ray mode, it was underwhelming because I couldn't really enjoy the fact that I was in a sandstorm. I had to be like in X-ray mode.
You mean thermal?
So it was kind of thermal, X-ray, same thing in the long run, you know.
You could see stuff that you normally wouldn't see.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Enhanced vision. Mm-hmm.
With X-ray, you usually get cancer.
Pretty much what you saw in Perfect Dark Zero, that type of thing.
Except better.
Yeah, well. So right now, I believe it's a 10-hour game. I'm probably about 3 hours in. It was a little boring at first. It's picking up. There was a sniping scene in the beginning of the third level, I believe. That was pretty cool with the drone and everything. So I'm starting to utilize more of the advanced weapons, which is making it a bit more entertaining, I guess. But because I guess I probably was expecting an old school feel for Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting is similar to Call of Duty, Gears of War, that type of thing, which is not bad. But what I was expecting is not there.
And this is the direction that most of these games are going into, right?
It seems that way.
Black Ops, Destiny, that we'll talk about later. I mean, they're all going into the future now. Modern Warfare.
Well, that's because the modern scene's kind of plagued out. So look how it's evolved, right? Like years ago, everybody was making World War II based shooters, and they got tired of that. Mm-hmm. Then Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out, and now the modern scene and everything like that. But some of these chapters don't play out as well as others. Like Medal of Honor, the original, I didn't think it was as good as it could have been. But then we'll get Warfighter, And now, obviously, with the future of technology coming, people want to kind of shift more towards futuristic tools, futuristic abilities, like with Black Ops 2, which I'll talk about.
You're a futuristic tool.
Yeah, you're a futuristic swamp ass, so shut up. I'm just making a point. I'm just saying times evolve. We'll probably get something like, Battlefield 2100, somewhere in a couple of years. Like we already had on PC, but this will be like a console release. More general, people will be like, "Oh, this is awesome! I get to fly with a super drone." Yes,
super drone. I remember when Ghost Recon first came out for the Xbox 360 with I think it was Captain Mitchell. Yeah, Captain Mitchell. Dude, that game looked amazing. It was like one of the best looking games I had played to date. Does this game hold up as far as visuals does?
Well, I think Captain Mitchell was what, Advanced Warfighter?
Yeah, Advanced Warfighter. I think it was GRAW 2?
Yeah, GRAW 2. It's better looking. That's for sure. They do some things with particle effects, lighting. There's the virtual reality interface where you'll see giant lettering in the sky letting you know where to go.
Oh, like they did in
this way to supermarket.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what.
I hate it when they do that, man.
Hey, dumbass, over here.
Right? I'll tell you what I liked. Those little scanners that you could throw out, and they highlighted where targets were. And that you could actually switch in scope view between like third person and first person if you wanted to shoot them in a better ability. Because they're highlighted in red. You have targets that are highlighted in red that you engage, and the yellow ones you can try to engage them, but it's better off just sneaking past them and working toward your next objective. Because some of this game does require stealth. You can't just I'm gonna fucking kill everything. No, you can't do that. Sometimes you gotta be sneaky. Right? I mean, you've seen
that's true.
missions I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look at the video, you'll see that there's one where I restarted like 4 times because I'm like, all right, I'm supposed to kill these guys or what? It's like saying don't set off the alarms.
Mm-hmm.
And if my teammates shot at the remaining enemies, we could have gone through it the way I was trying to the first 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Then I figured it out. It's all in the video, but as far as visuals, yeah, it's better looking. There's some of the character models for the civilians. Oh my god,
they look really good.
No, dude, some of them look like fucking shit.
Well, some of them, no, I'm talking about like the soldiers actually look, but no, the civilians. No, talking about, no, god damn it, we're not talking about you.
They look great. The soldiers themselves, when you're all 4 of the characters are in battle. But when
you look at
enemies too, they look, some of the enemies. But the civilians, holy shit, they look like old John Madden character models. I mean, they look really bad.
At what point? At one point in the game, do they visit Doc Brown and get back to their own time?
Oh, God.
Yeah, so if you can ignore that, there's a lot of civilians, at least.
What? Damn it. I think I dropped. But I'm still recording. Well, since there's no one else, I will sing a song.
It's twitchier.
Salad.
It's not like the old Ghost Recon days where you can set up.
It's like an arcade approach. If I could say. It is sort of like an arcade approach where you can you can even turn on like auto aiming if you're like, screw it, I want to shoot him and I don't feel like aiming the cursor everywhere. And, I think there are a couple of things that are worth noting, like the use of high-tech tools like camo and, throwing out those little sonar things that track where enemies are and everything. These tools are pretty cool and the weapons are pretty good too. I think the only thing I was kind of bothered by, there are sections that are on rails. Like when you first start to get, what's his name? The guy out of the hostage situation in the first, you don't really control your soldier getting out of the situation. You have to hold on to the hostage and you have to control the on-screen cursor. I mean, stuff like that when you're not completely in control, it's like, what is this, Time Crisis?
Question.
What the hell?
Question. Is it better with Kinect?
Kinect's a good. I have. It's decent. It's just like Mass Effect. It's supplemental. You don't really need it.
Okay, but as far as like the weapons things they demoed, putting the weapons together, putting them apart, using them in the simulation room.
I just feel like you're slapping weapons around. You just like move the wheel around, and you pretend you're slapping somebody. Slap, slap.
What did a 5 finger say to the face?
Slap.
So Kinect is the slap simulator, okay?
Yeah, but it's decent. I mean,
slappy.
If you're really slappy. I mean, if you're one of those people that has to get everything out of the Kinect and like bought Dragon's Lair last week just to play with Kinect controls, then you might enjoy it. But it's like you don't need it. You can still get the hardcore experience just playing with a controller and shit, and that works.
So unless you're a big fan of Slappy McSlapatron, then pick up this game.
Is there I would like to meet this Slappy McSlapatron one day. How are you? How you doing? I'm sorry, your name implied I should slap you. At least your name's not Kick Me Groin.
Yeah, so, it's not a bad game. Right now, I definitely want to try co-op because that's the main reason why I got it. Though on Friday, I got to buy my year subscription of Xbox Live. It ran out, I believe, yesterday.
Did you lose your status yet?
Well, my MVP status?
No, your little number. What is it?
Your tag, your gamer tag.
No, the number you get for how many years you've been subscribed.
I don't think so, because it's not the first time I've been a few days without live.
Well, let me go ahead and report that right now to.
Yeah, please. I'll send an email too.
Send an email to Larry Herb so they can remove your status.
How come JVB hasn't paid for his subscription?
Remove his. What is it called?
Well, honestly,
tenure. Your tenure. Yeah, that's what it was. Your tenure.
I haven't really looked, so we'll see.
Yeah, we gotta try co-op. Multiplayer is good, even though I keep getting killed by all these fucking noobs. But it's fun, for what it is. I think what it is, you get used to. I mean, I know Ghost Recon worked in a different way and everything like that, but you kind of feel the vibe in combats similar to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though it's a little more straightforward with action controls, you still feel like there's a little bit of advanced warfighter with this. Obviously, because it's inspired by Ghost Recon.
Right. Ghost Recon was the first time I've ever seen someone use the shoot behind cover thing, where their hands waving around in the air and they're just killing people.
Way before they shoot them. Yeah. Woo, over here, blam!
They had their arms in weird angles where their elbows would twist and turn in wacky ways. Never get shot a lot.
Yeah, but DCD, have you tried it online yet?
Like I said, I tried the multiplayer, but I haven't done the co-op yet.
Well, how was multiplayer then?
Multiplayer wasn't bad. Like I said, I kept getting fucking wasted because I'm still working on, gaining my skills in the game, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to save a full... I'm going to attempt, not guarantee, but I'm going to attempt to do more videos for Ghost Recon and come to a final conclusion after doing some multiplayer.
The final conclusion.
You know what?
Final conclusion.
The final ending verdict.
Like the final solution.
It's the final solution.
Ah, there.
I was singing.
Yeah, so was that. That's scary when you and I are at the same wavelength.
Let's never do that again. Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty scary thought that just happened.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
So, Max Payne 3.
Actually,
Soldier last week. What happened, dude?
I was going to say, Ghost Recon, if you're going to get it on PS3, little warning, it comes with a 6.5 gig install. But it's in 3D if you have the TV. So, just that little thing.
I wonder how that's going to look.
I'll let you know.
And also on the Xbox 360 version, every time you start it, it starts downloading enhanced audio. Instead of doing making it a one-time deal, it happens every time you fucking turn it on.
See, you know what they're doing? They're adding commentary. It's just a bunch of people sitting around. Why the fuck didn't I renew my Xbox Live? Huh? Bitch?
The hell was that? Fucking Sean Connery? Why the fuck didn't I renew my Xbox Live? Damn it!
You're the man now, dog.
Oh, music.
The final countdown.
Damn it, soldier!
Sorry,
I'm going
Sean.
to kick your ass.
Sorry about that, Sean.
It's okay. Let's get back to the deal.
Okay.
We named the dog Indiana.
Call this archaeology.
You fucking bastard.
Fucking asshole.
Drunk Sean Connery.
Losers go home and fuck the prom queen.
I'm the big show.
Can we move on? Welcome to the post-game report where we do not meet at Sean Connery fans.
Let's talk Max Payne 3.
Hell yeah.
Love this fucking game. Okay, I'm done.
Last week
on post-game report.
Came on the post-game report and said that it sucked.
On the post-game report.
Previously on the post-game report. Soldier said the game sucked.
Wow.
Oh, he changed his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because he actually fucking played it?
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to give this game a proper breakdown because I feel it deserves it. Of course, it's available on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and also on the PC. It's a one-player game, not counting the multiplayer. It was released May 15th by Rockstar Studios. As you guys know, Max Payne was the birth of the cinematic action shooter, right? It's a game that combined groundbreaking action with powerful characterization in a way that felt wholly unique.
Just do your impressions.
Why the hell are you reading the product description?
What are you talking about? I'm not. I mean, if you guys really look at all the games in a world of faceless caricatures, Max is one of the first real characters.
You mean like the ones in Ghost Recon? Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, the faceless civilians.
Okay, so a little bit background on the story, right? The Max Payne 3 takes place in Sao Paulo in Brazil.
Yeah, we
nowhere near Mexico.
We know that.
And
let's just get to your impressions.
Okay, so Max is the worst bodyguard ever, right? Everyone he watches. Wait, this is a spoiler, huh? Yeah, no. I'm not gonna give any spoilers. So Max Payne 3, right? Is a great fucking game. Go out and fucking buy it right now.
What was it that changed your mind?
The one thing that had me going when I talked about it, even last week when I talked about it, was the killing. And that has really propelled this game above the average mark for me and put it into the good game category. Because this is the first game I played in a while that I actually went and played from start to finish. I haven't finished Batman. I haven't finished Skyrim. I haven't finished Modern Warfare. I haven't finished all kinds of other shit. And this is the first game that actually left me intrigued, engulfed into wanting to actually finish it to see how the ending, what happened at the end, And sure enough, the game ending was a little disappointing. I said a heroic Superman.
I know. I don't know. It was.
I still trying to figure out how you combine intrigue and engulf together. Intrigue and engulf.
Yeah, that's heroicism.
Yeah, I was intrigue and engulf.
Yeah,
heroic Supermanism.
But what the game does that really shined for me was that the story kept me in it. And a lot of people are knocking the story, but especially our reviewer, Patrick, on talkingaboutgames.com, he reviewed it, and he gave it a C-, which I think that it really doesn't deserve a C-. I think it deserves more like a B+.
See, I'm more in the A-.
So B+.
No, but let me explain. I'll let you finish.
No, I am. I'll talk about the multiplayer once you're done with the single player.
Yeah. I was going to talk about that too. You got to understand, the first two games were made by Remedy Entertainment, and obviously they went on to do their Alan Wake stuff. Right. So this was actually the first Max Payne game done in house, and I think Sam Houser and his team, they nailed it. They took Max in the new direction. He's still got his dread and everything like that, but instead of getting all psychological, it just cranks up the action and just. It's nuts. I mean, you're shooting people in a soccer stadium. You're taking part in a boat chase. Some people just don't like soccer. I don't know. Queensberry rules. No, it's just a thrilling game, and I like the fact that they implemented the bullet time so well. You can either click in the right stick to just activate any time, or you can go into one of Max's little dives. He's like, I'm gonna jump forward and I'm gonna have 4 headshots while I fucking do it. It's gonna be amazing. That's how it works. And I think the only thing I had a problem with in the gameplay, the cover system's not 100%. Sometimes you hide behind shit and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, you will get popped in the head. Yeah,
I know, but. I do like the fact that if you're severely injured and about to die, you actually turn around and you have your gun aimed at your assassin. If you take him down quick enough and use your painkillers, you survive. I like that. Yeah. Being able to fucking survive when I need to. It's kind of helpful. But I mean, it's a great. It plays really well, and like Soldier said, I actually like the ending. I'm not going to spoil it here, but I like the ending. I don't think it's going to get kind of controversial what the fuck thing like Mass Effect 3 did. I think it's a nice little wrap up.
Yeah, no, it is.
And but I think it's a great game. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And well, here, why don't you go ahead and tell me about the multiplayer? Oh, one more thing, I do got to mention, graphics look good because they have the little wavy effects like you're on crack. It's like, what the hell's wrong with my TV? What's going on? It's actually effects on Max's head. And they actually got the original actor, James McCaffrey, to come back and do the voice. And he's awesome. He really does a great job in it. Sorry, Soldier, go on to multiplayer.
Yeah, and the other note I had on the single player was that the only problem I did have was they did mention this in the review was a dot for the aiming. Sometimes I couldn't find that stupid dot and I would die because I couldn't hit the guy.
Oh, you mean during the slow-mo dives?
During the slow-mo dives or doing just regular gameplay, sometimes that dot will get lost or whitewashed into white walls or something.
Yeah, but that's when you wave around the right analog shit and you just shoot like shit. Fuck you.
Yeah, so, and I still agree with what I said last week that it's a DCD simulator because my man is drunk the first half of the game, nonstop.
You know what? If I had a slow-mo, if you were coming to HP, I'd take the slow-mo dive.
Yeah, you would. Slow-mo dive. But instead of a gun, you'd be holding a beer and you'd be drinking it.
Yeah, they'll just drop in midair.
Yeah. He called it beer time.
No, my accuracy is doubled when I'm drinking. So I will slow-mo dive and I will hit you in the head.
No, you won't. You'll be drinking other beers.
It'll be an empty beer can. I'll finish it. Then I'll throw it out.
You'll have another beer in your pocket. You'll pull that one out. Start drinking that one. In slow motion.
I am Bud Payne.
Yeah. All right, so the multiplayer.
So,
I played one game.
Wow, you're really good at it.
I'm level 2 already. What's up?
So that one game, how was it?
Okay, so it's up to from 2 to 16 players, right? Now, some people might be surprised to find multiplayer in a Max Payne game, right? But if you really notice, concepts for multiplayer in Max Payne games have been around since the first 2 games. And we're excited to have solved some of the challenges that mean we can bring a complete multiplayer experience with Max Payne without sacrificing any
Just get straight to your impressions, please.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure. So you can get XP. There's rankings. During the gameplay, there is bullet time in multiplayer. The shoot dodge is available. There's adrenaline, stamina, health. The enemy does have a health meter. There's looting. You can actually walk up to a dead guy and loot his body. You get points. There's fireworks. There's signal flares. The maps all come from the single player game mode. So, what about
your thoughts though? What did Soldier think about that one game that he played on multiplayer?
It was very generic.
Really?
Yeah.
What about bullet time? Was it abused?
No, because you have to earn it. So you have to build it up. You shoot people and it builds up. Then it goes really fast. So I mean. One guy bullet time jumped at me and I moved out of his fucking way. This shit was so funny. And I hit wide and melee his ass. I meleeed him while he was still jumping in slow motion.
You know, why does that sound like a scene out of the Pink Panther? Like Peter Sellers goes jumping at Kato. Kato ducks and he crashes into the kitchen.
That's what it felt like. Everybody's jumping around in slow motion. It actually made me feel more powerful because I feel like I'm still running in normal time. Everybody's jumping around in slow motion, and I was just meleeing motherfuckers in the stomach. And they would crash and die, and they'd be like, "Oh!"
Yet it was average. Yet it was average.
No, it was pretty generic as far as the multiplayer. There's nothing that really stands out. The bullet time doesn't really work well in it, and it felt really wonky. It felt like the single player. Now,
did you play the Gang Wars mode, or did you play the mode where
I only played Team Deathmatch.
Oh, okay. So you played the mode in which you can kill Max and become him.
No.
So I think you never became Max.
Okay, I haven't unlocked them yet.
Yeah, you haven't played it. See, because Gang Wars is pretty good. And, the Deathmatch and Team Deathmatch, they do feel a little bit added on.
Well, Gang Wars is the heart and soul of the multiplayer, right?
Gang Wars is a part of multiplayer, yeah.
It's the heart and soul of it. It's like the main part.
Pretty much. But, I mean, the whole ability of being able to, it's like Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer. It's fun if you want to get into it, but obviously people buy it to get the most out of the single-player campaign. Mm-hmm. Of course, Max Payne isn't sandbox. So.
And you never know what mode you're going to play next in the Gang Wars, right?
Right. Well, no. You. What happens is in the multiplayer, one player is Max, and when you kill Max, you have the ability to become him.
Oh, okay. It's like it changes dynamics.
You didn't read that in your press release there? Are you sure in your little notes? Because that's all you've been reading to us, right?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
First bullet time arsenal, gears and items? What are you talking about? Character customizations?
I am you. If you are me, then who am I?
There's also Vendetta's Cruise Feud and Rivalries. Those are pretty cool.
Quote Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Where the hell am I?
Okay, so they have some DLC that's announced. June 2012, they got the local Justice map pack coming out. Summer 2012, they got this organized crime, deathmatch, hostage negotiation map pack, New York Minute Co-op pack. And then finally in the fall of 2012, they have the Painful Memories map, Trickle Down Economics map pack. And you get to shoot a bunch of Jersey kids in the face, so go out and play this.
Okay, so wait, you didn't even talk about the Season Pass.
The Season Pass is available now for a lot of Microsoft points.
So Season Pass, how much?
I don't know. I didn't buy it.
$30.
$30 fucking dollars? Are you serious?
Yeah, considering the packs are like what, $10 each, and there's going to be 5 of them. You're getting them at a discount, like the Gears of War pass.
Okay.
Yeah, and look at how that turned out.
Yeah, well, Gears of War was a solid game, and $50 is justifiable. But Max Payne 3, even though it is a solid game, I don't know if they can justify starting their own pass just yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, they offered one from LA Noire. Not everybody got into that.
Bro, the multiplayer is nowhere near Gears of War quality.
Well, obviously.
Or even Call of Duty quality.
I mean,
so why would they offer a season pass that costs the same as a Call of Duty or a Gears of War?
Because there are people who will be fans of the multiplayer. They're not, you know, obviously they put a game together like this for the Max Payne experience, and they don't say, oh, multiplayer is the greatest thing ever. They don't go like that.
Well, how many Max Payne fans are there?
Tons. I'm assuming the game's shipped 3 million copies
Okay,
already.
well,
there's a few.
There's gigatons of Gears of War fans that will pay $50.
Okay, what's the exact count? A
gigaton. And now, if there's tons of Max Payne 3 fans, there's probably a bunch of guys that just like to play it, not fans. So if they were offered at a more competitive price, it might get some of the other guys to buy it too. Like, I'd be interested in playing all the DLC too, but not for $50, $30, whatever. Maybe
well, that's
10.
Your opinion. There are going to be some people who buy it and who love it. And, you know, they're probably the ones that take pure joy out of mailing somebody while they're diving in slow motion.
And Max Payne 3 is the worst fucking bodyguard ever.
No, right. You just stand there and you're like, okay, I'm going to hit him now. Okay,
yeah. By the way, Mr. Guije said if it doesn't smell right, don't lick it. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. He wanted me to tell you guys because he cares about you so much.
He must be using regular soap. Tell him to use
Head and Shoulders.
Head and Shoulders or some type of fruity soap. Don't use like hand soap because it smells bad when you do that.
Hang on. I'm going to look up fruit soap and make him a recommendation, right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
So,
Mango fruit soap on the rope.
Mm-hmm.
So then, Max Payne is definitely worth the wait.
I think
Max Payne 3 is a great game. You should definitely play it.
All right.
You know, single player definitely holds up its end, and multiplayer is there if you're interested in it. But obviously, there are better multiplayer experiences out there.
There's no loading times in the single player either.
Yeah, I do like that. I do like the fact that the game just continues to go, but I mean, it's also kind of trippy. Like I said, don't play it drunk because you'll think your Xbox is broken. Mm-hmm. Why are all these fucking words appearing on the screen? What? Did I turn closed captioning? What's going on? You know?
Yeah, so let's move on to some other news. This is somewhat legal news. Activision is currently going through some type of lawsuit. I forgot what the hell it was because I don't follow that crap.
It's the Weston Zampella lawsuit because after they left to Infinity Ward, Activision accused them of partnering with EA, which they kind of did, but it's just a legal mess over the whole Modern Warfare 2 business.
Yeah, so because of the fact that they're under the law, the house of the law, I am the law. Some documentation came out, and of course, this is the internet, so nothing is safe. And in this documentation, it stated that Bungie was creating the new space marine type game, and it even mentions the name and the expansion packs, DLC. What's the name of this fucking game? Destiny.
Sounds like a stripper.
Yes, I know.
It does.
Which, of course, is not probably. It's probably not going to be the end.
Probably not. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not going to be the final name. That's just a project. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're pissed off. Bungie is.
Well, yeah, but they confirmed it. That's the thing. You go to their website and they say, "Okay, so that happened, but we're not ready to show it yet." You know, they confirmed that it's happening, and they said, "Well, we'll show it to you next year."
And I don't really think that they're mad that their game was revealed. I think they're more mad that the details of their deal came out. Like it goes into real detailed stuff, like what percentage of the money they're going to get, what percentage of the money Activision is going to get. If you read it, you get a good sense of what's going on as far as deals being made in the industry. So that's something that you can base, other companies trying to do the same type of thing. So it gives people a barometer to measure against what's actually going on.
So what are the numbers? What are they getting?
I believe they're getting 30% royalties as far as the game sales. That was one of the numbers I remember reading.
Plus, they also get a $2.5 million bonus if their game scores 90 or higher on.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff in there that just relates to industry stuff that gamers should never have to know or don't need to know.
Now, here's the interesting part: the way this project lays out. They were going to introduce 4 games total in 2013, 15, 17, and 19. But every other year, they were going to release a special downloadable pack nicknamed Comet for 2014, 16, 18, and 20. You know, that covers the 10-year deal that they have with BioWare, Activision. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you know, it's ridiculous. I mean, Activision's pouring a lot of money into this deal, and they have a lot of expectations. They're expecting the first game to sell 5 million copies. Now, don't get me wrong, Bungie did make Halo. They did a damn good job with it. I have faith in them. But they're putting Call of Duty-style expectations into a new franchise, and they're gambling a shitload of money on it.
And it also released that it was going to be exclusive on Xbox for a minute, right?
Yeah, for like 2013, it was going to be exclusive, and then 2014, they would bring it to the supposed Xbox 720.
Yeah, they talked
along
about
with
that.
Along with PlayStation 3, and then the next sequels would obviously be PlayStation 4 and Xbox 720.
So, I mean, they confirm a lot of stuff, and at the same time, it's all like the same code words we use for shit is the same stuff they're using for shit, which is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, I mean, I understand they wanted to make a big deal with Bungie, and they have the money in which they could do it, but still, pouring this kind of expectation on them, and especially now that it's revealed, and, you know, now it's like, this could have been a huge surprise in 2013, but because of this whole legal shit, it just popped out there. So now everybody's going to be like, is this Halo all over again? What are they doing different this time? And now we'll have to wait, like, at least till E3 2013 to get an idea. Maybe before, if they do like a press event, but obviously they're going to hype Black Ops 2, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I mean, it almost seems like unreal how much faith Activision is putting into it. I just hope that Bungie's not feeling pressure, be like, oh shit, we got to pump out some quality shit, guys. No more marathon. You know what I mean?
Supposedly they're going to do a remake of that too.
Yeah,
or a sequel or something.
What didn't they release it on? What was it? Oh, yeah, Xbox Live.
Mm-hmm.
They released Durandal or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, but that was an arcade title. So let's talk about Black Ops 2.
Yes, I got to see this at an Activision event a couple of weeks ago. The embargo just lifted on it. Essentially what it is, it's about 10 minutes worth of gameplay footage. Most of the gameplay footage takes place in the campaign. You're in Los Angeles. You're protecting the president, who is a female, and all hell's breaking loose because the drones have been taken over by a terrorist by the name of Raul Menendez. And he's got his reasons for doing it, but they didn't say what yet. I actually got an interview with the director, which I believe we're going to play here in a few minutes. Basically what it is, in the campaign, you're in all sorts of action situations. You're like shooting at enemies from an overpass. They have automated enemies as well as soldiers who are backing up Raul. In addition, you can obviously not. Also, there's a sequence where you can drive a car around while the freeway collapses around you.
Cool.
Yeah, followed by an ambush. That didn't last long, so well. And then, like, near the end of the stage, you can actually get into a jet and you can fly around in the sky and shoot down drones. And then they finish it off with you, like, going into a head-on collision with a drone, but you bail out at the last second, which is really cool effect. I mean, that was a good way to end the demo. Oh, and I should mention the character is Dave Mason. He's the son of Alex Mason from the original Black Ops. And it's really cool. I mean, it runs at 60 frames per second. The detail is fantastic. The futuristic weapons are cool. You have like a sniper scope in which you can clearly see enemies and like pick them off with ease, which is great. You're able to get into a turret and shoot missiles at drones. That's a lot of fun. I mean, it just looks fantastic. Of course, I really didn't have any doubts in Treyarch. A lot of people do because it's like, shit, another Call of Duty game. But you know what? They're really pushing this one. Not to mention the fact that they're rebuilding multiplayer. They didn't say how. They just said they're going to make it better and have like Call of Duty Elite integration and all that. They're bringing back zombies, which will be 4 versus 4 this time, which sounds an awful lot like what Left 4 Dead did. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And then they also introduced a new mode called Overwatch. Overwatch is a mode in which you have an objective that you have to complete, and you know you can actually your success or failure actually plays out in the story. So if you fuck up, you're going to have a bad ending, but if you're do well, then you can continue on the good path. But the cool thing is you can zoom out at any time, take a look at a virtual map, and then zoom back in on any playable soldier. We're talking like pointmen, we're talking gunmen, we're talking drones, we're talking walkers. It's really cool. You know, you can like approach the mission any way you choose, and then mow down the guys, mark the objectives, and blast the shit out of the boat. You know, which is really cool because you're on a freighter. It looked fantastic, and I'm eager to see more of it at E3. But yeah, I mean, I had a blast looking at that. I'd love to play it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we pretty much know what to expect. So if they're going to add something that gives it a little twist, something a little different, there really isn't much to complain about.
Yeah, I mean, they're going all out, adding all sorts of shit, retweaking zombies, retweaking multiplayer. It'll be an interesting show at E3. I would not be surprised if everybody checked it out there and give it one of the best of show awards.
Yeah, look, and you also have an interview, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. I managed to sit down with the game's director. His name escapes me because I didn't check the notes before the show because I'm all prepared like JVB style. But no, we have an audio interview. It's not the greatest audio in the world. I had to record on my iPhone, but we talked to the director of Black Ops 2, who works over there at Treyarch, and he gave us some details about the bad guy, about some of the modes in the game. So yeah, actually, I think his name is Dan Bunting.
Dan Bunting.
Now at the plate, Bunting is Dan Bunting. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, let's listen to that interview, and then we'll come back to the show.
Yeah.
Please roll that wonderful drunk footage.
I think this will be a pretty good audio. But I just need the guys to introduce themselves real quick. Sorry.
Sure. I'm Dave Anthony, the director of Black Ops 2.
Okay. I'm Ben Brinkman, executive producer at Activision.
Sorry to make you guys lean in. I think the first thing I got to ask is, at what point did you guys decide to go into the future with the series? Because, I mean, first it went into the past, and then obviously went into modern warfare. Now we're taking the first step into, the future where all sorts of technology comes into play. At what point did you say, you know what, for Black Ops 2, let's try this?
So let me rewind towards the end of Black Ops 1 first, because towards the end of Black Ops 1, I was actually working with David Goyer, who's actually the Hollywood screenwriter who wrote Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and has literally just finished writing the next Superman movie. And we worked together on Black Ops 1, and we hadn't even got to the end of Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1 is in submission with first parties. And David and I are sitting down, and it's we want to get going on the next game before the first one's even finished. And this is the point at which we're looking at this thing, and we're we did some pretty ambitious things on the first Black Ops, but on Black Ops 2, we just want to rewrite the rules on what we're doing with storytelling in this game. So the first question we ask in that situation is, what is going to be the reason for people to come back and play another Call of Duty game? So the first thing we looked at is setting. Where are we going to set the game? And we had sort of a conflict because we knew that the story from the first Black Ops characters wasn't finished. I don't know if you're all familiar with the first Black Ops story. So we had characters like Alex Mason, and Alex Mason's state of mind at the end of the first Black Ops, is he still even compromised or not? We had Frank Woods, who, is he alive or dead? A lot of fans were asking those questions. So, but we knew, we left these things hanging out there, and we wanted to continue to tell that story. But also, we wanted to deliver a story in a completely new time period. So we wanted to find a way to actually combine those two things where we could continue to tell the story of the characters from the first Black Ops game, but also set this in a new time period. And we decided on the near future right away. And we didn't want to go too far out, because we want to keep it grounded. Very, very important to us to keep the Call of Duty experience as grounded as possible. But also, given that we wanted to continue the story of the characters from the first game, we actually wanted to create a narrative that bridged two time periods. So the structure of Black Ops 2 is, one part of the game is actually set in the late 80s, towards the end of the first Cold War. And then the second half of the game is, that's actually about the second two-thirds of the game, is actually set in a near future, in 2025. So that's how, and those two time periods are bridged through Frank Woods, who you saw in the trailer as the old man, who's actually the storyteller who bridges those two time periods for you.
How did you come up with the new weapons and the drones and the styling on those? Is that based on ideas that the military was working on, or were you just trying to extrapolate on that, or did you just go off and make some interesting things?
So it's a great question, and when I mentioned about a minute or so ago about authenticity, that We want Call of Duty to be grounded. We don't ever want to create something that doesn't feel like it's authentic. Just because we're going into the near future, we didn't want to change that. So what we actually did was, we actually got a consultant on board called Peter Singer. And I don't know if you're familiar with his work or not, but he wrote a book called Wired for War, which is essentially what a drone's going to look like in the next 10 to 15 years. What is robotics going to look like? And when he talks about it, he describes it as the robotics revolution. And essentially, Peter is also an expert in geopolitics. So Peter could not only tell us about what is technology going to look like in the next 10 to 15 years, but he's also telling us what is the world going to look like. And it turns out that the conflict in the world of 2025 is like, you've got all the conflict right now all structured around oil, right? I mean, you look at a country like Iran right now, which is sort of the flashpoint of a lot of the conflicts in the world in terms of potentially causing trouble. And Iran controls about 10% of the world's oil supply. Now, in 2025, I was surprised when I was talking to Peter, because I said to Peter essentially, what is the conflict going to be around? Is it going to be oil still? And he's like, no, it's not going to be anything to do with oil. So I can tell you what people are really worried about right now, because Peter Singer is actually a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute, which is essentially a think tank for Washington. So he literally talks to world leaders very, very regularly about what they are concerned about. And what people are going to be concerned about in 2025 is something called rare earth elements. And I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with those. So essentially, we've got some rare earth elements right there, right? You all have them. And people don't realize how important these things are. But they are in any new technology that you can think of, whether it's smartphones, iPads, tablets. It's all rare earth elements. It's also drones. So any of this new technology is all rooted around these rare earth elements. Now, before I told you Iran controls 10% of the world's oil right now, right? Look at a country like China. How much do you think China controls of rare earth elements? Any idea?
I know it's the bulk.
Yeah, it's a pretty good amount of the technology.
More than 95%. As of 2010. And in fact, President Obama, we've been working on this for the last 18 months of this story of rare earth elements. And I saw a press conference that President Obama gave that was on, I think, March 13th. So it's less than 2 months ago, where he's actually opened a case with the World Trade Organization against the restrictions that China are placing on rare earth element trade. And it's really interesting when you start looking at this stuff that, Peter Singer has been describing this as the conflict in 2025, and we're actually watching this thing unfold in front of us as we're making the game, and it's all rooted in this conflict over rare earth elements. So the explosion, like you were asking, how do we get the ideas about the drones and that sort of thing, this has all been rooted in what we believe will be an authentic take on what the future of 2025 is going to look like. And Peter Singer has been very, very integral to helping us realize that vision and trail.
Now, you kind of gave a hint or two about him, but the main villain in the game, it just seems like he's like a hacker type person. It almost seems like if he gets control of the world's drones like that. I mean, how much can you fill us in about who's behind all this?
Sure. I'm glad you asked, because I can tell you the thing I am most excited about, everything that's in Black Ops 2 is the villain. Right from the start, working with David Goyer, who created Heath Ledger's Joker in Batman, it's a good place to start. And for me, to be able to create a story with that kind of firepower on the creative front was amazing. And right from the start, day one, we said, we want the central focus of this story to be a compelling villain. And not a two-dimensional villain, but a human being. Somebody who, if I can give you an example, it's I think you guys familiar with The Sopranos, the TV show. So, Tony Soprano is a really interesting case because, he's a villain. he's a gangster, right? But as you watch the show, it's very clever about the way that it draws you into understanding who he is as a human being. And you actually kind of end up empathizing with him on many different levels. And then one minute you'll find yourself empathizing with him. And then the next minute you'll see him do something that's just so despicable and so far outside the realm of anything you could possibly contemplate doing. It leaves you in this conflict. And to actually understand these people as human beings, I think is the key to that. Because you'll find with a lot of people who you describe as villains, they don't see themselves as villains. They see themselves as heroes. And they believe in what they're doing. And they can't see that what they're doing is wrong. And, welcome to Raul Menendez. Because that's the thing. He believes what he's doing is right. And he's maniacal, but he's a human being. And he's somebody that actually in the story you develop a personal and even emotional connection with as you're moving through the story. So that when you experience the extreme things that he does, it's not just you sort of watching this story unfold in front of you where you've got this crazy villain and he's just doing his stuff and he's against you. It's like you're conflicted. You know he's doing wrong. He is a villain, but you understand him. And it's fascinating to me to develop a character like that and be able to work with somebody like David Goyer to actually help realize that vision is an amazing opportunity. And the villain himself, it's like I described the situation in the world where you have all this conflict over rare earth elements, and it's essentially you have a new Cold War with America and China. But what's actually happening is, while you've got America and China sort of embroiled in this Cold War, you have the villain who's stoking the fire of this, and he's actually manipulating both sides to his own end game. And as you get towards the end of the story, the one thing that David and I really wanted to do on a fairly regular basis is turn the tables on people's expectations as they're playing through this game. And we do this with Raul Menendez constantly. And just when you think you've got things figured out, and you've just seen a demonstration of Los Angeles. Now, at this point in the story, you have Los Angeles almost completely wiped out by Raul Menendez, who's taken control of the entire US drone fleet. At the same time, other cities in America are under attack. And at the same time, you've got China watching this. And they're looking at what's going on and they're thinking, hang on a minute, this isn't us. What's going on? And then half of the drone fleet starts heading to China. So you've got the whole world being attacked by all these drones. And this is Raul Menendez. And then just when you think you've got to figure out what's going on, the tables are going to get turned again. And I'm feeling daggers coming to this direction. I can't tell you any more spoilers.
Spoiler coming up!
But I think this is the point in the story when it really starts to get interesting. And it will unfold in ways that you will never imagine.
We'll learn a lot more about Menendez in the next couple of months throughout the campaign. He's a big part of this game, and he's a big part of the campaign. So expect a lot more news on him.
I think, didn't I hear you can actually play as him, and you kind of get an idea of what he goes through?
We'll be talking a lot more about the villain later on.
No spoiler. No spoiler. No, neither confirmed nor denied. Yeah, I mean, I know the game takes place in all different places like LA and Los Angeles, or LA and Singapore rather. When you were kind of outlining the part of Black Ops 2 that takes place in the future, what drew you to like Los Angeles, Singapore, and maybe some of the areas?
It's a really good question. I can tell you first of all, looking at Singapore, it's the one thing about working with Peter Singer, who's not just an expert in robotics, but also an expert in geopolitics. So the question to him is, where are the flashpoints going to be over this Cold War, over rare earth elements? And like Singapore, for example, is a very high-tech city. So in all the cities that are embroiled in technology, there could be the flashpoints of this new technological war. Now also, and what this was absolutely fascinating to me when I was developing the story, is we're juxtaposing all the time between the first Cold War and the new Cold War that we've fictionalized in 2025. And in the first Cold War, the fascinating thing to me is it's not really a global war. You've got all of these proxy wars going on in these different countries. Like you've got Angola, where you've got MPLA, supported by the Russians, fighting against UNITA, supported by the Americans. So it's not really the Russians killing the Americans. There's these little proxy wars going on where really they're using other people to fight these wars. You've got Nicaragua with the Sandinistas and the Contras. Sandinistas Russians, Contras supported by the Americans. You know, you've got the war in Afghanistan in the 80s. You've got a similar thing going on where the Russians and Americans are in conflict but other people doing the fighting. So these proxy wars that you see in the past, we've actually extrapolated a new set of these in the future. So the characters that you see and experience in the future campaign in the game will be the flashpoints of this new Cold War. And all the places where, having talked with Peter about where these hotspots are going to be in a broader Cold War between America and China, that's where we're focused.
That's where the African levels come into play? They want to level chat?
We haven't announced any of the levels between Philly and Singapore at this point. But really quickly, guys, time flew. So is there any very top level quick questions?
Just one quick question here regarding the Overwatch elements and being able to play out the mission your way. Did you have to change anything in structure in regards to how the levels played out, or is it just something like, you know what, guys, let's go with the flow, see how we can fit each position into this mission?
So for Singapore, when you're in Overwatch mode, like you can play through Singapore. You don't have to go into Overwatch mode at all. If you're a traditional Call of Duty player, you want to stay in first person, you want to play it like you used to play in Call of Duty, you can do that. If you want to go into Overwatch mode, you can actually use that mode to gain a strategic advantage and actually get a better result as you're playing the level. Now, the thing to understand here, which is different from how Call of Duty has been in the past, is how these levels affect the branching storyline. So what happens is, it's like in all the previous Call of Duty games before, there's no real concept of failure. It's like you can fail to get through a level, but if you keep trying and keep playing it well enough and eventually you get good enough to get through it, you'll get through it. There's no concept of failure. It's just a war of attrition. In Black Ops 2, there's a concept of failure as you're playing these levels, and you could be playing Singapore, and if you don't, if you choose not to use Overwatch mode, and you're playing in first person, and there was something that you could have done in Overwatch mode to actually help you gain advantage in a level, and you actually don't succeed in your mission, the game moves on. And you failed at that mission, and we record that. And that has an influence on the outcome of the war. So, using Overwatch mode can really gain you a strategic advantage. Or, if you choose to play it a different way in first person, it's up to your skill as a player.
Can't wait to give it a try.
I have one very short question. About how many hours of gameplay will the main storyline be?
Wow, well, it's like, I can tell you, I can't answer that in a way that I've been able to answer it before, because when you get to the end of Black Ops 2, it's going to be explained to you what you could have done differently. There are going to be main characters that will live or die, that will have lived or died, depending on what you did in the story. There will be this Cold War with America and China that will be going one way or another by the end of the story, depending on what you did. There's Raul Menendez, who's up to his own bag of tricks, and he'll succeed or not at some of the things he's doing, depending on what you've done. So, when you get to the end of the game, I think a lot of people, like you guys sitting here, you all play it, you'll all probably get a different outcome as you play the game. And you're going to want to play it again. Especially when you understand the kind of thing that it could have been done different. So, how long is that experience? As long as you put it. Until you can really master this thing. It's a different way of looking at the game. And it's going to be an experience like you've never seen.
Yeah. Right.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for that interview, DCD. And
in the weeks ahead, I will also have additional interviews with God of War Ascension's team as well as PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. See, I'm doing my job. I'm not just drinking at events, contrary to popular belief.
Awesome, man.
Good job,
and we definitely look forward to providing those interviews
That was a good
for
interview, by the
our
way.
listener.
Yes. Our one guy. I just listen to Soldier. I sound like an ass. That's all that is.
Yeah, so awesome. We're actually going to wrap this up.
Mm-hmm. Just got a couple more quick notes.
Sure.
Real quick. There is a new shooter out from the team at Cave called Akai Katana for Xbox 360. I recommend it. It's a great hardcore bullet hell shooter and a lot of fun. Also, Starhawk. I don't know if you guys talked about this in the podcast. I'm loving it. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
What was that? Are you trying to...
I don't know.
Oh my god, he's trying to do the Thundercats thing. You're late. Holy shit, you're awful.
Oh, I know. So,
Give me sight beyond sight. Oh, I didn't want to see that. Shit.
ooh. Yeah, what do you think about Starhawk?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, the thing is, the single player campaign's a little short. It's like 5-something hours, but it really preps you for the multiplayer stuff. And multiplayer is nuts. Okay, you haven't lived until you got into a mech and you shot down like 8 fucking aerial drones in a row.
Nice.
It's fun. It's fun.
I'm hearing good things about it.
It's really good. And I fully recommend it for PS3 owners. Also, one more bit of news. I wanted to bring this up. It looks like the Major League Baseball 2K series is done. Because Take-Two did their projections for 2013, and the game was not on the list. So I think that $1 million thing hit him a little too hard. I don't think it's coming back. I'll bet you EA steps in and brings back MVP Baseball.
They should. That was pretty damn good.
Yeah, MVP Baseball is, I gotta say letters right, not MPV. It's MVP fucking Baseball 2005. That was the shit, yo.
That was a good game. It was. Let me rephrase that. It was a great game. Great baseball game.
It was good, great.
Good, great. Great, good.
Yeah, very good.
So I want to remind everybody, check us out at talkingaboutgames.com. And also check out all the other great podcasts that you can find there. You can also listen to our show and subscribe to us on iTunes. And find our official Post-Game Report app on the Android Marketplace and iPhone or Apple Marketplace. Whatever they call it nowadays.
The market, if I could call it. Also, if you are an admirer of my writing, unlike Soldier, if you really like my writing, visit planetxbox360.com, planetplaystation.com, gamerlive.tv, gamezone.com, and primagames.com. Yes, I fucking write everywhere. It's a living.
You know, you gotta ask permission. You gotta ask me permission.
I'm sorry, may I do that?
To be pimping out your shit on my fucking show.
No, it's my show too, just because I go away.
Fucking guy just big time me on my own show, Soldier.
You know what? Did I not provide exclusives for your show? I think I'm entitled to a little pimping. Also, be sure to check out Swamp Ass the movie.
Starring the DCD.
Listen to me. I need toilet paper. Listen to me.
Listen to me. For that, you're going to have to give me your code for Resistance Burning Skies. And then everything's okay.
I've already used it, but I can give you a code for Alex Miracle World. Sega Classics now available on PSN and Xbox Live.
Yeah, so...
If you guys don't want this deal to go through with Activision, you can call them at 310-255-2000.
What the hell? What number did you just give out?
That's the telephone number, 310-255-2000.
Or
you can send them a letter at 3100 Ocean Park Boulevard, Santa Monica, California, 90405. Dude, there's 27 pages in this agreement.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised that you're not going to do a podcast where you read all 27 pages.
I should. You guys want me to read this 27? Dude, we're only at 35 minutes.
So,
special feature. Here we go.
No, that's all right. You could do it on your own time. The Gamers Transform.
Software.
Yeah.
And development agreement.
So thanks to everyone listening.
Thank
you to DCD and Soldier.
16-2010.
And don't forget, talkingaboutgames.com. So this is going to wrap up episode 193 of the Post Game Report. Until next week, keep on playing those video games and stay away from the yak juice.
Yeah, really.
Interactive entertainment software products being developed by licensor based.
Take care, everybody.
Also, come next week, Resistance Burning Skyrim.
To be the massive multiplayer style, client-based.
Take care, everybody. Take care, everybody.
With persistent elements, sci-fi, fantasy, action shooter game.
Be quiet.
Collectively, Destiny games.
Right, that's it. We're done.
And individually, each a Destiny game. Destiny game 1, Destiny game 2, Destiny game 3, and Destiny game 4 as applicable. For operations on the
send me the file, dude.
And formats described in Section 2.
Oh, no, I mean Soldier.
Major downloadable comments and individual each comment or comment 1, comment 2, comment 3, comment 4 as applicable.
All right.
Dude, there's 26 more pages. I can go all 26. We're only at 36 minutes. Hold on, guys. Right, don't hang up.
No, I'm hanging up. I got stuff to do.
Okay.
See you guys later.
I'm going to take one for the team and do it myself.
I
can picture Soldier doing
products or products. I mean, the following that are developed during the development of the team.
Put this on Just TV later tonight.
Series interactive entertainment software products.
I know you'll have a smoking chair and
based on Destiny property. Plans to be massively multiplayer style.
All right, I gotta go.
Mission structures.
Later.
With Destiny gamers, Destiny Game 1, Destiny Game
Destiny's
2, and Destiny Game 3. Destiny Game 4 as applicable. For operation on platforms and formats described in Section 2.
Send me the file.
Major downloadable content expect. Dude, you don't want me. This is really interesting stuff. It's highly confidential, outside console's eyes only. All right, I'll send you the file now. Bye.